Hey guys, welcome back. You know it's that time of the year when developers are pushing out their holiday updates and events, and Lords of the Fallen is no exception to that rule. With that, Hexworks pushed out their Season of Revelry update version .1.1.394. So in this video, we'll be going over all of the notes, talking about the content that is contained in this update and what is to come in the future. That being said, guys, if you like the content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content just like this. That being said, guys, let's get into the update. All right, to start things off, we're going to take a look at the update notes that was provided, as I mentioned before, and it looks like we got quite a bit to go over here. First thing I want to bring up is that the notes were provided today, Thursday, December 14th at 4:42 p.m. EST. And I did go ahead and take note of the download size for this update. It was 1.74 gigabytes, which is not too bad. I can't speak, unfortunately, for the other platforms what the download size might have been, considering I'm on Xbox Series X, but I'm sure it's probably roughly around the same size. And if not, if it's a lot more or a lot less, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what the size was for PlayStation 5 and PC. All right, now that we covered that information, let's actually get into the build notes, where the developers start off by saying, "Glad tidings, Lampbearers of Mornstead, for this season of Revelry is upon us. A two-part bumper update spread over this week and next, bringing with it a whole smorgasbord of goodies, including new quest lines, festival armor sets, some highly requested QOL features, seasonal decorations, and much, much more." They then go on to say, "As stated many times previously, we cannot overstate our appreciation of your ongoing support, passion, and dedication since our launch in October, and hope our roadmap of free content goes some way to express this gratitude. We've released over 30 post-release updates, plenty of updates, and nearly all of which have contributed towards today's stability and performance. In addition to many refinements to overall balancing, we're extremely pleased with the result and couldn't have done it without the help of you, our community of Crusaders. So raise your lanterns, one and all, and let the season of Revelry begin." I don't know about you guys, but I'm extremely happy that these developers actually care about their community, and they will do just about anything to keep you guys happy and pleased with free content and updates to bring stability to the game and just all that good stuff. So hats off to Hexworks for doing all of that for us, and can't wait to crack into these notes some more and see what the content's all about. So let's get into that. All right, so taking a look at the screenshot we have right here, which is basically the quick overview of the part 1 and part 2 content that we will be getting with the Season of Revelry. Taking a quick look at what they show on screen right now for part 1 offerings of Orius, we will be getting 6 new spells, 3 new throwables, holiday decorations, and finally additional secret boss weapon abilities. Part 2 Trial of the Three Spirits will offer character appearance reset, umbral armor set and questline, gamepad rebinding, radiant armor set and questline, storage chest, new Grievous Strikes, Rogar armor set and questline, and finally Snowball throwable. Guys, do please keep in mind that the part 1 is what is offered right now at this time and is available in the game as we speak, while part 2 Trial of the Three Spirits will be coming soon, and I believe it's supposed to be sometime next week. Please do keep that in mind. You will not see any of the other items and all that stuff that I just mentioned in part 2 in the game at this time. Now that we got done talking about the overview of part 1 and part 2, in this section we get into more of the meat of the two, and we talk about the specifics of what you actually get. Going into update 1 offerings of Orius, which is out today, spell pack number 2 will offer the following: the Arena Devastating Immolation, Brothers Knights Radiant Shield Throw, and the ability to shoot skin-piercing icicles from your fingertips. You will then go on to get new projectiles. The 3 is as followed: Blood Vomit, Explosive Mines, and Frost Worms. All right, guys, before I get into this next section, as you can see on screen, the text is blacked out and it's redacted, and that is because there is spoilers ahead. If you guys are okay with that, with the new boss weapon abilities, and you're okay with knowing what they are, then keep going on with the video after I'm done talking. And if not, just kind of skip this part and just keep proceeding to the rest of the video. That being said, I will now get into the new boss weapon abilities. All right, to kind of summarize this really quick, as many of you probably already know, or maybe you don't know, there are a few weapons already in the game that have weapon abilities on them. Those weapons being the Light Reaper's dual blades, the Pieta and Elian sword combo, and finally the stick. So realizing how popular these were, they were like, let's start getting to work on all of the boss weapons. And so far in these notes, they go on to mention the following: the Cleric's Greatsword, which will get a eruption of bouncing flame, and you will get the Sundard Monarch Great Hammer, which will shoot a torrent of burning blades. They then go on to say you will have to perform certain tasks in order to unlock these devastating secret attacks. And this seems to be the only two that we're going to get at this time. Finally, they go on to talk about the holiday decorations, saying, yes, even the heinous hordes of a deer take the time to spread a little seasonal joy, lovingly bedecking the vestiges they patrol, so vehemently in festive decor. Definitely a nice chunk of content for the first update, and more to come with the update 2, which I'll go into next. All right, getting back into update 2, Trial of the Three Spirits, which, as I said before, will be out next week. They then go on to talk about the actual Trial of the Three Spirits content, which will include 3 new quest lines, 3 new armor sets, 3 new weapons, each representing one of the 3 factions: Radiance, Rogar, and Umbral. And they say that more will be revealed next week on basically what you will have to go through in order to get those items. We then go on to talk about the Mirror of Distortion, which was apparently one of the most highly requested features and will be a part of next week's update, and include a quest line that basically unlocks this mysterious mirror that will alter your appearance, that being shape, gender, skin tone, hair color, and facial features and name. We would then get new Grievous Attacks. Every family of weapon now has 2 unique finishers, one for single-handed wielding and one for two-handed wielding. There will also be a storage box added to Skyrest Bridge to help anyone who is having a hard time with their inventory management, and it'll allow you to deposit up to 2,000 items. Hopefully that will help you free up some inventory space. Gamepads will also be joining keyboard and mouse, and the options to rebind their controls. So that is also a good thing. So if you don't want to keep using the same controls and you want to switch some things around, you can do that with the next update. And finally, we have Snowballs, a 4th new throwable. The festive season has well and truly arrived in Mornstead in the form of throwable snowballs. Throw them at enemies or invaders alike until they frostbite. I don't know about you guys, but I'm all about throwing snowballs at people, so I'm definitely looking forward to this one. All right, and then at the bottom it reads, please find this week's full patch notes below, and we hope you enjoy the new content. Before we get into the patch notes, it seems like the devs went ahead and wanted to show off the 6 new spells and 3 new throwables across the 3 factions, which is the Brewing Chalice, which is supposed to be a throwable chalice filled with blood, which inflicts bleed buildup and smite buildup. The Lambent Feint, which is perform a quick step backwards before firing an arrow of radiant magic, which inflicts holy damage and smite buildup. Then we have Smiting Shield, hurling a shield of radiant magic, inflicting holy damage. Explosive Snare, a throwable mine which explodes if stepped on by an enemy, inflicting fire damage and burn buildup. Incinerating Blast, charge up, then launch a flame projectile, inflicting the fire damage and igniting buildup. Searing Soul, summon a seared soul who will rush into the direction of an enemy before exploding, inflicting burn buildup. Bursting Grub, a throwable umbral creature, which burst inflicts wither damage and frost buildup. Hibernal Cleave, swing an axe of umbral magic, causing a line of damaging ice formations to erupt from the ground and inflict frostbite buildup. And finally, Puncturing Hail, launch a trio of airborne ice projectiles which inflict frostbite buildup. And at the end they say, please note that these spells will not count towards Radiant, Inferno, or Umbral Adept achievements. All right, guys, so there you go. We went over those new spells and throwables. Finally, you got a chance to see what they look like visually and what they're going to be all about in game. And that pretty much covers all of the stuff that you want to know about for the content for part 1 offerings of Orius. And now we can finally get into the patch notes and see what the developers went ahead and fixed or changed in game. So let's get into that now. All right, to start things off, we have farmable faction shrines, which now we can farm faction shrine currency out of elites of every faction. It's a rare loot drop, but can be farmed without engaging multiplayer systems and using pawns for additional drop rates. This is good because even for me, I barely have any of the faction currencies, so it'll be nice to have another way of getting this through the elite enemies and farm that. So that is awesome. Next, we're going to go into quest, and they fixed an issue with the Kukujin's quest and could prevent players from finishing it. Please be aware that this change does not fix existing saved games automatically. You will need to defeat an additional boss where she can help for it to be unlocked. It also prevents the bug from happening ever again. Thanks, Foreign, for providing the save game, which helped us track down and fix this issue quicker. Next, we go into multiplayer. Improved the multiplayer online experience to be more reactive. As a result, this change will now allow players to easily dodge enemy attacks and not get stun locked. Fixed an issue that prevented charred finger to grant increased rewards upon completion. Added missing collisions to moth walls and Pilgrim's Perch. Adjusted invasion areas and moth walls to prevent invaders from trapping near the castle and Thief of the Chilled Curse. Disabled an invasion area in Pilgrim's Perch and adjusted moth walls accordingly. Adjusted Crimson Rituals to prevent door interactions throughout the whole encounter. Fixed missing visual effects on moth walls near the entrance of the Sunless Skein mines. Enlarged moth walls to prevent players from leaving the Crimson Ritual and the ice tunnels and Thief of the Chilled Curse. Fixed an issue that could cause the animations of Reinhold the Immured to play incorrectly while in multiplayer. Fixed an issue that could cause the co-op partner resources and buffs to reset after forced teleport to the host. Fixed an issue related to cooperative multiplayer where the client would be teleported to the host unexpectedly even after being teleported to the host at the beginning of a boss encounter. Fixed an issue that could cause the client's UI to partially become unresponsive upon assigning items to the quick access slot during a multiplayer session. Fixed an issue that could cause the co-op partner to recover all resources after being revived or teleported to the host. Fix an issue that could cause the co-op partner to be affected by their own Umbral type spells. Definitely a mouthful for multiplayer, but a lot of necessary fixes there, so that is awesome. Now on to collisions. Fix an issue where players could leave the boss encounter of the Hollow Crow by jumping on branches in the back of the arena. Added missing collisions to Umbral walls in depth. Fixed a collision issue that could cause players to fall through the world and Mother's Lull. Fixed collision issues with the Umbral wall in the cellar and the manse of the Hollowed Brothers. Fixed a collision issue to prevent players from accessing unintended areas near the market and Upper Calrath. Added missing collisions to Umbral assets near the ladder and Sunless Skein mines. Fixed a collision issue to prevent players from accessing unintended areas near the entrance of Sunless Skein mines. Fixed a collision issue to prevent players from falling through the world next to the gate leading to the Thief of the Chilled Curse. Fixed a collision issue that allowed players to skip the Blessed Carrion Knight Shanisho boss encounter by jumping on a brazier and then bypassing the moth wall. Fixed an issue where player character could clip through Umbral assets next to the vestige of Hooded Antule. Fixed a collision issue that could cause players to get stuck on crystal structures near the last Conflagrant Seer in Brahmi's castle. Fixed a collision issue that could cause players to fall through the world near the Umbral puzzle at the second part of Pilgrim's Perch. Fixed an issue to prevent players from accessing unintended areas at the beginning of Revelation Depths. Fixed an issue where the player character could clip through the Umbral assets near the fence behind the ruins of Revelation Depths. Fixed several Umbral collision issues near the ruins in Revelation Depths. Fixed a collision that could cause players to fall into the inaccessible area and get stuck near Revelation Depths. Fixed collision issues caused by a net in the flooded room in the Sunless Skein mines. It is definitely interesting to know that the more I read these patch notes, there's a lot of issues with Sunless Skein mines and Thief of the showed curse. So that is something to note, I guess, moving forward with collisions. All right, moving on to audio. Increase the audio volume of the Iron Wayfarer to be more in line with the game's audio levels. Added door closing sound effects to the elevator and cistern. Adjusted and improved sound effects of the Light Reaper. Improved the explosion sound effects in the second phase of Judge Cleric, the Radiant Sentinel. Added a new sound effect to the second phase of the boss encounter with the Light Reaper. Added missing sound effects to the ranged attacks of Blessed Reflection. Added missing sound effects to the explosion that caused the weapon abilities of Pieta's swords. Added ambient bell sounds to the area and the Empyrean. Legendary Edition now has its own main menu score, and that will do it for audio. Now we're moving on to bosses. Fixed an issue that could cause the Blessed Carrion Knight Santa Show to drop the player's vigor rather than absorbing it and killing the player. Fixed an issue that allowed players to skip the boss encounter in the cistern and get the item from the umbral container by quitting out mid-fight. Fixed an issue that could cause the Hushed Saint to lose player focus after defeating a summoned NPC. Always good to get those boss issues fixed because they can be pretty obnoxious at times, so good thing they fixed those. Now moving on to visuals. Fixed an issue that caused the Lucent Beam to be invisible. Fixed a visual that could cause the whole area to disappear near the Shrine of a Deer. Fixed an issue where the player character could clip with umbral assets in the library and the Empyrean. Fixed an issue where the player character could clip through umbral assets in the lower Calrath. Added physical materials and movement to the bells and the Empyrean. Fixed an issue where throwable items did not affect water surface in any way. That'll do it for the visuals. And now on to the gameplay. Fix an issue that could cause the player character to play the Moth Wall enter animation while dying. Fix an issue that could prevent water to deal damage to enemies and players. Guys, I'm not sure what's going on with these Umbral Walls and Moth Walls and Lords of the Fallen, but it's been mentioned more than 7 times, and I'm guessing there's going to probably be more issues like this in the future, so keep an eye out for those Moth Walls and Umbral Walls. Okay, now moving on to runes. Fixed an issue with the runes Makav and Dawi now working properly on certain weapons. Fixed an issue preventing players from socketing runes using key input and Galinda's shop. Now moving on to the final notes here that is marked as other. Fixed an issue that could display the wrong character level when using a rebirth chrysalith in a specific way. Fixed an issue that prevent players from discarding some items. Fixed an issue that prevented umbral eyes to be droppable. Additional paths to reduce the number of actors casting shadows, small objects, and minor details. And Abbey of the Hollowed Sisters, no loss in quality. All right, guys, and I know I did not mention this before, but it was in the title. There was also a hotfix 398, which says we've identified an issue with multiplayer connectivity and crossplay, which prevented some players to properly use the online functionality of the game, resulting in failed automatic online logins and increased matchmaking disconnects. We've identified the issue, fixed it, ran internal tests, and decided to hotfix the game today. Thanks for reporting and your continuous support. Definitely a good catch by the devs there, and I'm glad they got that resolved. So guys, I know that was a mouthful of notes to cover. I wanted to go ahead and try to read through them as fast as I could and just kind of put that information out there as clean as possible. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the patch notes. And then they go on to say at the end, updated roadmap. While the entire studio continues to work incredibly hard on our free content roadmap, we've decided to release the new Game Plus modifiers early next year to ensure the very best quality. We thank you for your understanding and look forward to sharing more information shortly. And guys, unfortunately, if you click the link for free content roadmap, their roadmap is not updated with everything that's currently already accessible or basically on the way next week. So I went ahead and based off the Game Informers, because theirs was blurry, I went ahead and updated the one they had in the free content roadmap in Photoshop with the updates that basically Game Informer had on theirs that I'm assuming they got from the devs themselves. So here's that. So I hope that's helpful for you guys as well. And guys, you know, they usually always close out in light we walk. So guys, I mean, that's pretty much it. I know that was a mouthful of stuff to cover. I do hope this is helpful for you guys. I really do try to put out the best and informative content that I possibly can. If you guys like this video, guys, don't forget to like, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more stuff just like this. So guys, definitely appreciate you stopping by, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Peace.